All right, hi everyone. If anyone's watching us right now, we're going to get started with our FIUTS Hangouts in about 5 minutes. So just wait for us for a little while and we'll be right there.
Nhìn thấy con không muốn.
All right, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Amy Bergstrom, and I am the Manager of Student Programs for FIUTS, the Foundation for International Understanding through Students. You've been receiving some emails from me as you get prepared for your transition to the University of Washington, and we are really excited to help welcome you here to campus. We will put on the International Student Orientation that you'll take part in when you arrive in Seattle in September. But before we get there, we are doing a couple of these Google Hangouts where you have a chance to ask your questions as you get ready to come to Seattle. We have some student leaders who are available to take your questions. They're really excited to talk with you this morning. And as you want to start asking your questions, there is a bar on the right-hand side of your screen that is a place where you can start typing questions. So we'll see those come in, and we will respond to them as best we can. We're certainly not experts. We're just people who've lived here a little bit longer, and so we can answer from what we know. The theme today is life in Seattle, but feel free to ask questions about anything you might be wondering about as you get ready for your move. So to start out, I'm going to ask our student leaders to introduce yourselves. So each of the leaders is going to talk about who they are, what they're studying here at the University of Washington, where they came from originally, and then how long they've been a student leader, which we call a facilitator here with FIUTS. I also understand that my audio is not matching up with my speaking, so sorry about that, but hopefully you can still understand me. And all right, so Jessica, if you want to start us out. Jessica? Oh, your mic's still muted, Jessica. There we
Okay.
go.
I'm going to be a sophomore next year. I was born in America, but my parents are from Vietnam, and I've been volunteering with FIUTS for a couple months now.
Great, thank you.
I'm majoring
Raghab?
in linguistics.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jessica.
Oh, I'm majoring in linguistics and public health.
Great, thank you. All right, Raghab?
Hi, my name is Ribhav and I'm from India and I will also be a sophomore next year and I plan to major in computer engineering and I've been with FIUTS for a month and this is my first event with FIUTS.
Awesome, thank you so much. And Suning, your mic is muted, but if you want to unmute it and then let us know.
Hi, I'm Suni. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Suni. I'm from China. So I'm studying biology in UW, and the next year would be my junior year. So I have been here for 2 years already, and I have attended tons of FIUS events, but this is actually like the first time like I'm as a facilitator, like being in the event. Nice to see you all.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. We're really glad to have you on board, and really great to have students from 3 different majors, so you can talk a little bit about experiences from different parts of campus. So just to start us off, if everyone could tell us, what is your favorite part about living in Seattle? Whoever wants to go first.
I'd like to go first. So my favorite part about Seattle is I come from India and it's really hot there. So I really enjoy the rains in Seattle and so pleasant weather. Also, I love the beauty of the volcano, the lake, and the forest.
Someone else want to share their favorite part about living in Seattle?
I really like the weather there. When it's not raining and the sun's out, it's really nice because it's not too hot like some other. I really like when
Great. And how about you, Suning?
I really enjoy the environment of Seattle. It's a huge garden during summer and spring. It's very like I have like that many trees and flowers in the garden. Other part of the country, Seattle is most beautiful.
That's awesome. All right. So a couple of you talked about the weather. So one of the most common questions students have is, does it really rain as much in Seattle as they say it does?
I think not. I think it rains a lot in winter mostly, like December, Jan, Feb. Other than that, it's once or twice a week, I think. So not that much.
Once a week. Does anybody else have a thought on that?
Yeah, it rains the most in winter. I would say it's a little more than once a week, though. Maybe like 3 times a week. But besides that, it's not as crazy.
Yeah. Is it hard with the rain? Because however often it rains, especially during the winter, does that make life harder in Seattle?
My shoes get wet and it's really annoying, but the rain's just annoying sometimes.
Seattle is really famous for its rain, but it's actually like from what I heard from the crew, it's like it's ranked 44th in. It's not the most city at all. But it's actually it rains a lot during winter, but it's like it rains a little bit every day. So it doesn't affect me to go out but you cannot do outdoor activities though. So I actually feel a little bit depressed after at the end of the winter. but spring is coming and summer is coming. So yeah.
Is there anything like, do you carry an umbrella? Do you wear a rain jacket? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, during the winter time, I always wear a rain jacket and a pair of boots.
And a pair of boots. Okay.
I'm always prepared for that.
Ribha?
Yeah, I always wear a hoodie just in case it rains, and it's always drizzling. It never rains really hard, so the rain doesn't affect me much. But once it rains for a long time, for a lot of days, then it gets kind of annoying, and you miss the sun. But that's just, so it's fine.
Awesome. So a couple of you came from somewhere else. Jessica, you're sort of from the area, but what surprised you most when you came to Seattle?
Um,
Anyone?
Um, Even as a prospective student, I heard that it rains a lot, and I was surprised that it doesn't rain as much as people say. So I was surprised about the rain, and I found the weather really pleasant as to what people say about it.
Great. Anyone else? Something that surprised you? Suni? Yeah.
I'm really surprised by the space needle. I thought it's pretty big. Like before I got the impression from the Grey's Anatomy, I thought it's really big. But like when I get here, it's not. It's a little.
It's a little bit smaller than you thought. That's awesome. Jessica, is there something, because you live near Seattle, so is there anything about Seattle itself that surprised you?
The environment is really welcoming, very accepting of everyone, which I thought was kind of surprising because where I'm from, it's not as welcoming. So I really like the environment. Yeah.
That's great. We actually have a question from a student related to weather that's not about rain. So the question is, how hot does it get in the summer?
Hot?
How hot does it get?
Okay. We can show what we're wearing now. I'm wearing a dress. So like, it's not that hot. It's not cold at all. It's very like comforting. I don't know. Is that a word? Like it's a very comfortable.
Comfort? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think some people might be coming from places where it gets hot in the summer, so maybe we could talk a little bit about it being not as hot as some of those places.
Yeah, like as I'm from India, it gets up to 45 to 50 degrees Celsius in the summer. And I've never been in Seattle for the summer. I'm back in India now, so I don't know exactly how hot it gets, but it's for sure not that hot. It's like 30s, I guess, 35 degrees.
I think it's like from 20s to 30s. Maybe.
Can you say that again? Sorry, Jessica.
It's usually from like the 20s to 30s on average. Sometimes it gets a little hotter than 30.
Mm-hmm. Great. Awesome. So what kinds of things do you like to do in the city or in the nearby area?
I like hiking and running. So you have a lot of great places to hike, like a lot of trails to run. I heard about it. Seattle is famous for its parks. There are
Great. Someone else?
I really like leaving the UW campus and going to downtown Seattle or Capitol Hill restaurants. So
Cool. Is there anything in particular downtown or in Capitol Hill that you like to do?
Yeah, I like my place market. I like to be. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Let Jessica answer and then we'll go back.
Jessica, what did you say?
Walking around and then eating places. We like Seattle.
And Suni, you said Pike Place Market?
there is a very famous sightseeing place called Piper's Market. It's actually a part of like people's life too. So I like to being around there. It's a very cool place. Like you can buy handcrafted thing, and you can also buy like fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. And the food is also there. I didn't like. I don't.
Cool. How about you?
Um, there is a snow mountain near Seattle, which is called Snow Colony, and I went there in winter. I learned skiing for the first time, and I've been there like 3, 4 times after that, and I'm learning snowboarding. So I love skiing and snowboarding actually.
Yeah, really good outdoor mountain activities in Seattle. Um, let's see. So, what is it like being on the University of Washington campus, and how easy is it to get from campus to other places in Seattle? Yeah.
I'd say the campus is pretty central, and like downtown's like 10 minutes away, and the other places in the city are pretty close to the campus as well. So it's in a good location.
And what do you like about the campus?
I love that it's huge, and it has the Drumheller fountain, which is really pretty, and you can see the Mount Rainier mountain. And in spring we have the cherry blossom trees, which are like super pretty, and it's a tourist spot for a lot of people, and the campus is filled around spring to see the cherry blossom.
Cool. Suning, you had something to say?
Like I have been to LA, and it's a terrible transport. Like, considering transport cannot take like a bus anywhere, but like in Seattle, I mean, like this area, you can actually take bus to a lot of places, and we have late night, so it's very convenient. Like it's like if you're not hiking like far away, but if you're just like considering Seattle, the city, it's very convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jessica, do you have anything to add?
No, I think everyone said everything.
Okay, awesome. So what do you think people in Seattle are like?
Really nice. From what I've seen.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're welcoming and friendly, I guess.
How, does anyone have like a story or anything like that from an experience with people in Seattle?
I really like I was taking like Uber. So I was taking a lot of Ubers, and the Uber drivers, they were talking about their lives in Seattle. Like, I like my life in Seattle, but the other people, I'm just curious about them. And they said like they love Seattle because of this like people's open-mindedness. Like they're here, people really treat each other equally. Like even they're immigrants from different countries, but they're very satisfied of their conditions and their lives. I was surprised.
Cool. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
Mm,
Oops.
I also like the sense of the community, like in Seattle, like when we had the community service like once a month. We planted trees, and we went to the gardening like in a certain community. And they're really friendly to us. Like they welcome us, and they prepare food for us. But I haven't like been in other cities, so I cannot say like Seattle is the best, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Cool. We have a couple more questions from students. So this one is, where do you look for your accommodation, so where you live, and what is rent look like if you live off campus?
So I live on campus, and this is my dorm. I won't show you. It's not that neat, but I live like 10 minutes away from the campus. No, I live on campus. I live 10 minutes away from the main building, the West Square. It's the center of campus. So I can get up pretty late, just like 20 minutes before my class begins. That's very
And
nice.
do you live with one other roommate or multiple more roommates?
I live in an apartment, so I have 6 roommates. We shared a kitchen. We share the kitchen, and 2 people share the bathroom.
Okay. Does anyone live off campus?
Um, I'm moving off campus from off campus. I'm moving off campus, and the rent that I'm gonna pay $600 to $700, and I just
So it's $600 to $700, and that's with sharing with how many people?
I'm living with 3 other people, and I'm sharing a room.
Sharing a room, and you're living with 3 total other people. And how close to campus is your new place going to be?
It's a 20-minute walk.
Okay. So that's not bad. Is there a bus that takes also?
I've not had the buses yet. I've just looked at walking distance.
Got it. There are a lot of buses that go around the campus area, so even if you live somewhere where you'd be walking on a regular basis, sometimes, like we were talking about, if it's raining or if you're carrying a lot of things, you want to take public transportation, there's almost always a route somewhere. And Rahab, do you live on campus or do you live off campus?
I live my first year in Maple Hall, and I'm gonna be moving to Nottingham Court, which is off campus, but it is owned by the university, and it's like 10 minutes by bus, and the rent is around $950 a month, and I'll be sharing it with 3 other people, so it's a 4-bedroom apartment, and so I get my own room. That's the advantage of Nottingham Court.
Cool. And so for Jessica and Rahav, how did you make your decision in terms of where you're living? How did you find the places that you ended up deciding on? How did you decide on Nordheim Court instead of maybe living somewhere else?
So I wanted my own room, and the options I had were just Nottingham Court, and because the other options off campus were more expensive compared to Nottingham Court, they were around like $1,200 to $1,300 a month, and we had tours last like 2 months back by with HFS, where we went to different HFS buildings. So I really liked Nottingham Court, so I decided to go with it.
Cool. Jessica, how did you find your place?
I looked on several websites like Zillow, and I just looked at all the houses they had there. Then we went to the house tours, and we looked at them in person.
Yeah, great. So it's a lot easier when you get to Seattle to look for places, but we know that it's hard to not have a place to live when you first arrive. So FIUTS sends out some information. You can always look at the FIUTS website, but we have a list of resources for looking for housing. So there's a list of a lot of different websites, like Jessica mentioned, that individuals will list places that they have available for rent. We really recommend that you be very cautious as you do your search for off-campus housing, especially from overseas. Be careful not to send money to people before you are actually able to confirm that you are able to live there and you see the place in person. If you want to try and figure it out as you get closer to like the days that school starts, we do have a homestay program with FIUTS that you can stay for 7 to 10 days when you first arrive in the United States, and that is a temporary homestay, but you have the opportunity to stay with a family, and often that is a good place to start when you're looking for off-campus housing, because you can have a secure place to stay for about a week while you go and tour different buildings. Does anyone else have anything to add about housing resources?
Yeah, so before I moved into my dorm, I stayed in an apartment in downtown, and I got the apartment using Airbnb. So you can use Airbnb and get an apartment, like a temporary housing, so that you can look for a permanent place to live in. So it can be an option to check out. It's Airbnb.com, and that's pretty famous in America.
Great, that's a great option. Thank you. All right. There's another question here from a student. I'm not sure. Did anybody go to FIUTS orientation when they first came and attend our camp program? No. Okay. So I will try and answer this question a little bit. So during International Student Orientation, we have a camp, an American-style camp program, the weekend that's in the middle of orientation. And the question is, what's the composition of students attending the two-day camp in September? What's the proportion of graduate or professional students? So we have about 200 students who attend the camp program, and it's really a mix of a lot of different student levels. We have a lot of exchange students who come to the university for 1 to 3 quarters, and they are either junior or senior level students, undergrad, or they are graduate students, and many of them participate in camp, so they're kind of on the older end of students. We also have first-year undergraduates who come, and there's a lot of graduate students, so it's a pretty good mix. It's usually about 30% graduate students, 30% first-year students, and 30% exchange students. So mixed pretty well around, and it's a really fun weekend. One of the great things about camp is because it's a smaller group of students, you really get to know a group of students really well and make friends right away and have that connection and have that shared experience that you had together at camp doing really silly American-style camp things. So a lot of Americans go to what we call summer camp during their childhood, and we try and recreate a lot of the activities that happen at a camp, like we do skits, and we have campfires and sing songs and play games, and it's really silly and it's a lot of fun, but it's a really great opportunity to get to know people from a lot of different areas. So that is what I can tell you about camp, and we'll have lots more information about camp coming out in emails in the next few weeks. Okay, so I think we've gotten to the student questions, so come back to some other questions and see if anyone else has anything. So when you first arrived at the University of Washington, what was your transition to campus like?
I think I signed up for CSSA, like pickup service, maybe. So CSSA
What?
is like Chinese Student Association. Yeah, I think so. So they have a page that you can sign up for that. It's like the 30 or 50 but the senior student, the one that's older than to
Great. So you had the help of getting
Chinese.
picked up from the airport. That's awesome. What about just like in general, sort of like your first couple of months on campus?
First a couple of months.
So just in general, like adjusting to life.
Oh, no, it's not transportation from the airport. It's
No. Like, yeah, transition. Yeah.
Wow, it's 2 years ago.
And anyone can answer that. Sorry.
I think my transition wasn't that bad. It was quite comfortable. It was hard finding classes the first week, and I was quite lost, looking at my phone, using Google Maps to find around my way. But after 2 weeks, I was speeding up.
Cool. How about you, Jessica? Since you were kind of coming from the area.
My transition was pretty easy.
That was like the base part. I don't even try.
Oh, sorry, Jessica. I think something weird happened with your mic there. So, Grace, did you think of an answer?
So I was attending an early four start. It's for any of us, any of you don't know this. It's a program that's like 1 month earlier than your quarter. So you're taking one class. It's only five credits. So I was taking a double E class. It's actually like a combination of novel and science. Yes, that's a pretty fun class. So I was taking one class for 4 hours every day, and like being in a very small class with a professor, it's a very good experience. Like I think that prepared me a lot to actually doing work in the autumn. So I feel a lot better coming to class. I feel a lot
Mhm, cool. Let's check on Jessica whether your mic got fixed there.
Working now?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear what I said earlier?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought my transition was pretty easy. The hardest thing for me was food because I really miss my food at home, and I couldn't find it anywhere in Seattle usually.
Yeah, I think that's a really common thing for people is not being able to have either home cooked food or just the food from their homeland. How did Suning and Rubhab, how did you cope with that?
So I was living a dorm, and we don't have a kitchen. We have a common kitchen, but it's far away. So
I don't know that she's not working.
It's only sublime.
I know, yeah. I was like, there are some sounds that like are just not having days. So like, if you listen to that, it's like, oh.
what is dinner. But like the second year, I moved to
Friday over and over and over again.
It's like, what is it? Like, can't stop this perfume. That's a great one. Child's memory. It's like happy. That's on it. Like, it's like the whole.
How about you, Rubhab?
I don't know to cook, so I couldn't cook something for myself. But there are a lot of Indian restaurants near campus, so every weekend I used to have Indian at least on Fridays and Saturdays. So that's how I cope up with not having Indian food.
Is it pretty good Indian food? I mean, like pretty close to home, or is it? How would you compare it?
It's decent. It's not super close to home, but it's like manageable.
It's manageable. Okay, so it gets you at least like satisfied, or kind of gets that craving that you have. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How about making friends in Seattle? What was that experience, or on campus? What was that experience like?
So it is pretty easy to make friends if you live on campus because you're surrounded by a lot of other people who are also looking for friends, and a lot of them are really welcoming. In my opinion, they would like go around talking, and going out their way to become friends.
Cool. How about you, the others?
It was easy making friends in class because, like, I used to talk to the person I used to sit beside in class, and so I have friends from every class, and I'm pretty much in touch with them.
Great.
And I already knew a lot of people coming in from India and from my city, so I used to hang out with them for the first few weeks till I got to know more people.
Cool. How about you, Suning?
So because classmates they don't stay around you, taking different class like after a few quarters. So I don't actually have a lot of classmates friends, but I do have a lot of friends through FIUTS. Yeah, so like I think my best friend, I met her like through FIUTS.
Can you talk a little bit, since the new students won't have experienced FIUTS yet, how did you make new friends through FIUTS?
Okay, so they have a lot of hiking events. We have a lot of sorry. We have a lot of hiking events. So when like walking, like doing outdoor activities, sometimes you don't play around, and then like you get to know them and friends. And also like volunteering. My friend Stephanie was the intern in FIUTS, and I met her through I think March, and we stick to that program to be like gardening program for a year. So that's
cool. Yeah. So what Suning was talking about is I think I'm echoing, sorry everybody. FIUTS puts on a series of events and activities each quarter. And those are really great opportunities to just go do something fun in Seattle, and then through that make connections with people. How about in general, do you tend to have friends from different cultures, or mostly friends from your own home culture? How does that work?
I have friends from other cultures, but I don't usually hang out with them. So I usually hang out with my culture mainly.
So it's easy for you to find friends, other friends from India.
Yes, I mean everyone's friendly, and people from other cultures want to know people from cultures other than their own. So it's easy to find friends of other cultures, but it's hard to hang out with them every day. So it's maybe once a week or so, I guess. You want to hang out with them. That's what I feel.
Yeah. How about you, Suning?
so it's very easy to make Chinese friends. It's actually really easy to make Chinese friends because we have a lot of Chinese students here, and his language, it's very easy to speak Chinese. But like making friends in different countries and cultures like makes your life like um, more interesting, right? So you get to know the story of from different. So I'd say international students, like, it's from from their home, and it's easy, easier to hang out with the international students. Like, so I
So Jessica, you kind of have the perspective of being American, but also your parents are from Vietnam. So what is it like for you interacting with students from different cultures?
I was placed, my roommate's from an international student, and because of her, I met a lot of other international students. So all of my friends are international students, which I thought was really interesting. I don't have that many American friends at UW, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, one of the things we talk a lot about in FIUTS, we'll do some different activities during orientation, but we talk about how it's important to have your home base, and it's great to have friends from a culture that you feel comfortable with. So wherever you are from, if you meet others who are from your home area, that's a really great way to feel comfortable on campus. But we obviously love having international connections, and so finding opportunities to interact with those from different cultures, it's great to have sort of that balance in your life. Let's see, those are the questions that I have. Is there anything from any of the student leaders that I didn't talk about that you want to talk about related to life on campus and in Seattle? Okay, well, I think if we don't have any additional questions, we'll end a little bit early. I will just talk a little bit about some things coming up. So we have 2 more of these Google Hangouts scheduled. One of them will be with International Student Services, and they are the office on campus that deals with visa requirements, and there's a lot of technical issues and questions that you may have. You want to make sure that you maintain your F1 and J1 visa status so that you can stay at the University of Washington and be successful. And so we will have some representatives able to answer questions about that. And then our last Google Hangout will be about orientation. So we put on a 10-day program for international students arriving at the University of Washington, and there are a lot of aspects to that. And so we want to answer questions you may have about the different programs we put on during orientation. You will continue to receive pre-arrival emails from us with some other information to help you in your transition, talking about transportation and banking and phones and all sorts of other things that you might need to know about. And if you have any feedback about these Google Hangouts, this is a new thing that we are doing this year, so we've never done it before. So we would love your feedback on how things are going, other topics you maybe would have wanted to hear about. And if you have any feedback about that, feel free to send us an email at orientation@fiuts.org, and that would be the best way to get a hold of us, since this will go off in a few minutes. And if you want to rewatch and see what people had to say, and maybe you didn't catch something or you want to hear it again, this will automatically get posted on YouTube, and we will also share links to it. So thank you so much to our panelists, Jessica and Rubhav and Suning. I really appreciate your perspectives and sharing your time. And if you have any last words to say to the group? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, and we really look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks in Seattle. Bye.